Can you beat Super Mario RPG without using items or equipment? Let's find out. The beginning of the game is the exact same as any other playthrough. Peach is kidnapped, Mario goes to save her, defeats Bowser, etc. Giant Sword plonks into the castle. It's the same old story. After Mario is thrown back to his house, he has a brief encounter with Toad, then we're ready to begin the game. First though, we do have to lie to him about knowing how to use items. On the other hand, we do know about timed hits, and that's a crucial mechanic. If you aren't familiar, hit a button with the right timing to do more damage or take less. This becomes crucial later on, as damage ramps up, and our lack of equipment starts really mattering. You can do this early stage at level 1, but we kill a few miscellaneous critters to get to level 2, then take on the Hammer Bros. Interestingly enough, you don't actually have to save Toad, and there's a slightly different cutscene if you leave him trapped by earlier monsters. We get a useless hammer, then head off to the Mushroom Kingdom. There's another cutscene, then we encounter Mallow, our second party member. A purple dinosaur steals his coin, so we chase after him. This is the first real obstacle of the run, largely due to Croco's bombs. Explosive attacks, and magical, can't be blocked, which means they always deal full damage. Without equipment to mitigate this, they're a consistent threat throughout the entire run. Croco's bombs do almost as much damage as we have HP at this point, so we have to grind up a bit. I got Mario and Mallow to level 5, although it's probably doable at level 4. It's still a relatively long fight, as Croco heals halfway through, but we manage to survive. Unfortunately, upon returning to the Mushroom Kingdom, it's been beset by aggressive Pogoers. Their source is Mac, a giant sword, but a different one than before. This fight is very difficult if Mallow can't one-shot the Shysters with his magic, but trivial otherwise. In the end, I needed one additional level to reach that point, but then it was a first try victory, and the first star is acquired, 1 of 7. Next on the agenda is to get Mallow's package from the item store. Wait, no, where are you going? You missed the quest objective. Ugh. In this particular playthrough, I forgot about the pie, and the Star Road cutscene won't trigger if you don't have it, leading to much confusion later in the game. Regardless, we head into the sewers area, which is a bit of a labyrinth. After figuring out the mini pipes, we fight Bellow, a cat thing? Luckily there's a save point just outside, but it's not a difficult fight, just a bit annoying as he can cause a variety of status effects and eat characters. Ultimately he doesn't do much damage though, and he goes down on the first try. A few minigames and story later, we arrive in Rose Town. This introduces Geno, and we race off after him into the forest. That area has some shockingly deadly bees, mushrooms, and Donkey Kong for some reason. We quickly die to a random encounter, which is likely for the best, as Bowyer is coming up next. He's an interesting boss with a meta twist. He has 3 buttons on a controller in front of him, and disables them at random. Geno joins us for this fight, but Mario and Mallow are basically dead weight at this level. The biggest issue with Bowyer is he casts Static E, an AoE magic ability that deals about half damage to our heroes, and he can do it multiple times in a row. He also has 600 HP, which is a large amount for this early on. Geno does 30 damage per hit, so that's 20 turns of solid attacking, and our attacks are disabled about a third of the time. Without items, if a character is dead, they're gone for the fight as well, which makes it particularly brutal. After much grinding, we reach level 9 and attempt Bowyer again. With some good luck, we're able to defeat the scoundrel and claim the star. 2 down, 5 to go. Next we're on to Moleville. We meet our friend Croco again after falling for an obvious trap. He brought a few minions along, which are good XP, although he fights alone. His potent bombs prove to be too much, however, and we lose a few times. After you game over, all progress resets except experience, so even dying over and over eventually leads forward. We get another level on everyone, and most importantly, Geno boost on Geno. This is the single most powerful spell in the game, with a low flower cost and doubling attack and defense with a successful timed hit. One mechanic I haven't mentioned yet is the flower points, or mana, is shared among all characters, and can only be improved by finding flowers throughout the world. And items, but we aren't using those, so it's a very limited resource. With our new tactic, we're able to destroy Croco and progress into the cave. At the end is Punchinello, who's not a member of Smithy's gang, or a weapon, he's just an angry guy. This fight is fairly easy, as the characters can tank the bombs, and as long as we focus on the boss himself, he goes down in a short time. This gives another star and another minigame. The booster tower section is next, where Bowser joins the team. He's a physical beast, but weak to magic. He's extremely powerful at this point in the game, but falls off later. There are a lot of enemies traversing up the tower, but at the very top are Knife Guy and Great Guy. One does magic, the other physical. With Bowser and Geno's damage, it's easy to blow up one of the pair, and then focus on the other. With a bit of luck, it's a quick fight. What comes after though is a nightmare. It's just a wedding cake, they say, but it's one of the most devious and devastating foes in the game. Really. It's a 3-stage fight. The first is just doing damage to the cake, while the cooks do minor physical attacks. After that, you have to blow out the candles. One attack is one blown out, and it regenerates one every turn. However, the cake can attack multiple times, use status like Sleep or Fear, which doubles all damage taken, and halves all damage given, and it does heavy AoE damage. If the cake kills any character, not only are they gone for the fight, but now you're blowing out one less candle at a time, and it regenerates one per turn. Unfortunately, the fight really does come down to luck, hoping and praying for good spells while you whittle away at the candles. Even after you blow those out, however, it still has powerful AoE spells which induce fear, so it's far from a cakewalk. Finally, we get a good run, and Booster devours the cake. No star, but we get Princess Peach into the party. Peach has Mass Heal, which also removes all statuses, a revival spell, and decent defenses. In short, she is the best member of the party, and vital to surviving any late game fights. The Star Road section is next, but it's really just walking around, touching a few lights, then we get the star. No boss fight or really fights of any kind. A bit anticlimactic, but it's the reward for all the booster stuff, so it works alright. The Ghost Ship and Seaside Town are next. There's some good experience to be had here with the star trick. Throughout the game, there are stars and treasure chests, and they make you invincible and kill any enemies you touch, gaining their XP. These reset after death, so the fastest way to gain levels is to get a star, kill a bunch of enemies, then go die, revive, and go back to that star box. There's even a convenient save point right by the star, making this the quickest XP for a while. It's needed as well, because the next obstacle is the giant squid, consisting of 6 tentacles and a face. We actually get close on the first attempt with Geno and Bowser, but don't have quite the HP to survive. We try a few different combinations of party members, but it seems like we just don't have the raw stats, so leave, gain a level for everyone, then come back. With Mario, Mallow, and Bowser, we're able to eventually grind the beast down and move on. There's a secondary boss on the ship, the pirate shark Johnny. Given the levels we've just gained, this is actually fairly easy, as long as one of his pirate friends is alive. Otherwise, he challenges Mario to Fox-only Final Destination, and that's no good. Mario falls before the fight is through, but Geno and Bowser triumph, showing the shark who's the real alpha predator. Immediately there's another boss fight, however, as Yargle from Smithy's gang tries to take our newly won star. Like a lot of the weapons, he has powerful AoE and a lot of health. He can also split into 2 copies, although when he does, he only uses physical attacks, which is a bit of a blessing. We're able to beat him successfully with the patented Geno boost and do all the damage, while the rest of the party cowers. Strategically, we finish the fight with no flower points, Peach dead, and only a few hit points to spare, but it works. Our next drop is Monstro Town, with a quick second visit to Bellome Land. This time he makes duplicates of the people he eats, but again he's fairly low HP, low damage, and as long as we come into the fight with full flower points, it's a breeze. In order to go up to the clouds and the next star, we have to fight Smilax, a piranha plant. This would be fine, but in his final form he has access to Petal Blast, a high damage AoE magic spell that also mushrooms everyone hit. While you're a mushroom, you regain a tiny bit of HP each turn, but can't take any actions. The little plants also have Pollen Nap, which causes sleep for more stun fun. Ultimately, it's not the most difficult fight, but it's a sign of things to come. We head into Mallow's homeland and invade the palace, fighting all manner of strange creatures. This includes Birdo, who shoots explosive eggs. This ended up being another Geno affair, as Geno Boost is just too good. There's a fight with Dodo, a bird pretending to be Mallow, which can be difficult if unprepared. Ultimately though, it's a mini-boss and not too difficult. After that we have the main event, Valentina. At the start of the fight, Dodo takes away the middle character and fights them one-on-one. After that, the remaining 2 characters have to contend with powerful magic and Boob Jiggle. Eventually Dodo returns, and then it's 2-on-3. The nature of the fight means that Geno can't single-handedly carry the day, and Mario and friends have to get involved. The strategy that ended up working is Geno in the middle, Peach on the side. This is still unfortunately luck-based, as Dodo can mute Geno on the first turn, preventing him from boosting. But assuming that doesn't happen, it's smooth sailing in the 1v1. The other fight is about conserving flower points. Peach can AoE heal to counteract Valentina's magic, and otherwise just slapping her a bunch. Once Geno gets back, he can finish off the Bird Lady, although, in my winning fight, the only reason it went well is her AoE sleep spell missed Geno. Most fights at this point are going to require that kind of luck. Next we jump into an active volcano and fight a dragon. He's a minor pain, summoning balls of fire that do explosive damage, but in general the Geno carry strategy prevails. He can also be muted by Peach, one of the very few bosses that it works on, which prevents him from using powerful magic. After that, however, is the Axum Rangers, and these guys are awful. There are 5 of them, each with different patterns. Pink heals, black attacks twice, potentially with explosives, red buffs, yellow is fat, and green does magic. Again we run heavily into flower issues, as Geno's AoE magic costs a huge amount of flower points. The Black Ranger is the biggest problem for 2 reasons. The first is his attacks can be explosive. In fact, if he feels like it, he can kill a party member on the first turn, before anyone can act. When he takes damage, he counterattacks with a bomb. He needs to die in 2 attacks, and they need to be at the start of the battle. 1 Geno Blast and 1 Super Jump. After that, Pink needs to die, because she can cast Petal Blast, which is disastrous. Next Green, because magic is no fun, then Red, and finally Yellow. Now Yellow counterattacks when attacked physically, and is weak to magic, but at this point in the battle, we need flower points to heal, so we have to have Geno whittle him down while taking hits. Then there's stage 2, where Red jumps into a cannon, which fires 100 damage AoE every 2 turns. The strategy here is to have enough flower points to heal twice, and pray for a miss. This whole fight is misery, and just hoping for good luck, so it's best to just roll with that. 50% of the time, it works every time. 1 more star down, now it's time to storm Bowser's castle. There's a few mini challenges and a Magic Koopa fight, but no actual difficult bosses here. At the end it's the worst of all, a Boomer. He goes down with little trouble, although he can be annoying if you took damage getting to him. After that is Exor, and you can bet your ass I'm using Geno Whirl on him for a 1-hit kill. It's probably a bug or an oversight from the developers since this doesn't work on any other bosses, but on this specific one, it does 9,999 damage, so easy kill. Inside we find Smithy's lair, and with a little bit of platforming and some miscellaneous monsters. No real troubles here until we run into this clock. Fuck this clock. It's got 3 parts, 2 bells and a face. The bells have a lot of different attacks. In order from least bad to worst, they can advance time on the clock face, do a moderate physical attack, do a major magical attack, can turn you into a scarecrow, a mushroom, or Fear Roulette, which kills a random character. No saving throw and maybe a 5% chance to miss. Bear in mind there are 2 of these with completely random AI. If they feel like it, they can murder everyone in 3 turns. If Peach dies, it's game over. If Geno dies, it's game over, because of the flower points needed to reboost and missing those turns of attacking. If Mario dies, life goes on. Then there's the clock face itself, which can either heal, do nothing, do a huge damage AoE sleep, or Petal Blast, which again stuns the entire party. The best strategy is to try to kill the clock first, as its AoE is impossible to survive through the long term, but that's easier said than done. Well, it stuns from the bells, its own disables, and the 2400 health it has. The 2 bells each have 1200, and all of them have to be killed in order to progress, so that's 4800 total, over twice what the last boss had. The only saving grace is the bells can run out of flower points. All enemies can, but it's only relevant in very long fights. If they try to cast a spell they don't have the flowers for, it wastes their turn, which is a godsend. My successful fight against it had Geno 1 hit away from death, while the bell wasted multiple turns on useless abilities. It was nail-bitingly close, and miserable. Next is Cloaker and Domino, 2 colorful weirdos who are basically an evolution of Knife and Great Guy. One is magic, one is physical, and they're vulnerable to the damage they don't deal. This one has a little twist, where after you kill one, the other hops on a giant snake that does about 1 billion damage. This one required a couple levels of grinding, but eventually the Geno strategy worked. Also, you can spread damage, but in the end, killing the snake is the only thing that matters, so just go for the head. We're in the home stretch now, with a trio of bosses, the Clerk, Manager, and Director. The first 2 are freebies, but the Director attacks first with his 4 hammers, and they can cause fear. Again, they can kill party members before they can act, so it's mostly just praying they spread damage badly and Peach can out-heal it. The director only has 1000 HP, so it doesn't take long for Geno to finish him off, but it can be tense at the end. After that is the Factory Chief and the Gun Yoke. The little ninja is actually incredibly dangerous, with debilitating statuses as well as high damage, but after he goes down, the rest is just healing check, and by that point, Peach can handle it. Finally, we're on to Smithy, and we have to be max level to have a chance. This can be done by murdering dozens of little blue beams, who give 17 XP per encounter and die in one hit. This method is so efficient, you can get to level 30 in less than an hour. Smithy is the final boss of the game, and he's actually fairly easy. His base form does high damage magical attacks and medium physical. He also summons a couple of minions, but they can be safely ignored, with Peach out healing them by a long shot. It's possible for Peach to die in one turn with bad luck if she's not defending, which is unfortunate and does add some RNG, but that's just how fights go at this point, nothing to do about that. Geno again takes center stage, and after another long but not particularly difficult fight, it's over. We defeated Smithy. Wait, what's that noise? It's not over? There's another stage? Oh no. Oh no. Tune in next time for a video detailing the Smithy boss fight. We'll see how many dozens and dozens and dozens of attempts it takes.